Alright, let's dive into this because it's a big move in the football world. Newcastle United appointing Matthias Jaissle as their new head coach. But here's the thing, this isn't just another managerial change. It's a statement. A £9.5 million statement, to be precise. That's how much Newcastle paid in compensation to Ahli in Saudi Arabia to bring Jaissle over. And personally, I think this says a lot about where Newcastle sees itself in the global football landscape. They are not just looking for a coach, they are looking for a visionary. What makes this really interesting is Jaissle's background. He's not your typical Premier League appointment. This guy has been dominating in Austria and Saudi Arabia, winning titles and breaking records. At Red Bull Salzburg, he didn't just win the league, he took them to the knockout stages of the Champions League for the first time in their history. That's massive. And then he went to Ahli and won consecutive Asian Champions League titles. In my opinion, this isn't just about his success, it's about his ability to adapt and thrive in completely different football cultures. One thing that immediately stands out is Newcastle's description of him as the standout candidate after a thorough, rigorous, and confidential recruitment process. What many people don't realize is how rare it is for clubs to be this transparent about their hiring process. It's almost like they are saying, we didn't just pick the obvious name, we found the right guy. And when you look at Jaissle's track record, developing players, building high-intensity teams, and aligning with long-term ambitions, it's clear why they are so confident. But here's where it gets fascinating, Jaissle is only 38. That's young for a Premier League manager, especially one taking over a club with as much ambition as Newcastle. From my perspective, this is a huge gamble, but it's also a massive opportunity. If he succeeds, he could redefine what a young manager can achieve in one of the world's toughest leagues. If he doesn't, well, it's a learning curve for both him and the club. What this really suggests is that Newcastle isn't just thinking about the next season, they are thinking about the next decade. Jaissle's appointment feels like part of a bigger strategy, a shift toward sustainability, player development, and European ambition. Personally, I think this is the kind of move that separates clubs with short-term goals from those with a legacy in mind. A detail I find fascinating is Jaissle's own words. When Newcastle United comes your way, you take notice. That's not just a PR line, it's a recognition of the club's growing reputation. Newcastle isn't just a stepping stone anymore, it's a destination. And Jaissle's decision to leave a successful job in Saudi Arabia for this role speaks volumes about where he sees the club headed. If you take a step back and think about it, this appointment is part of a larger trend in football. Clubs investing in young, innovative managers who bring fresh ideas. Look at Julian Nagelsmann, Xavi, or even Mikel Arteta. The game is evolving, and clubs are betting on coaches who can evolve with it. This raises a deeper question, though, can Jaissle replicate his success in the Premier League? The pace, the pressure, the expectations, it's a whole different ball game. But here's the thing. He's already proven he can adapt. From Austria to Saudi Arabia, he's shown he can build winning teams in different environments. So, while it's a challenge, it's not an impossible one. In my opinion, the most exciting part of this story isn't just Jaissle's appointment, it's what it means for Newcastle's future. They are not just hiring a coach, they are building a project. And if Jaissle can deliver on even half of what he's promised, we could be looking at a new powerhouse in English football. So, what do you think? Is Jaissle the right man for Newcastle, or is this a risk that could backfire? Let me know in the comments. And if you're as fascinated by this move as I am, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more analysis on the biggest stories in football. Because one thing's for sure, this is just the beginning of a very interesting chapter for Newcastle United.